All right, let's take a look at the Google Meet video conference application for desktop. If you're on a desktop or laptop computer, there's no need to download anything. Simply go to meet.google.com. When you arrive at the Google Meet page, you'll see a message that Google is now free for everyone as of May 2020. You simply need to have a Google account to use it. The first thing you will want to do is either sign into your Google account or sign up for a Google account. So what is the difference between Google Meet and other video conference apps? Well, as with other Google applications, Google Meet sort of cuts to the chase. There may appear to be less features than other video conference applications, but you really don't miss those features. Also worth pointing out, Google has been around a bit longer than other video conference applications, so that is possibly something to consider when taking into account what type of application you want to be sharing you or your organization's data with. There's a full list of comparisons between Google Meet and Zoom listed at the end of this video, as well as down in the description. Also worth mentioning is that Google Meet is one of 3 distinct video conferencing applications released by Google, the other 2 being Google Hangouts and Google Duo. Of those 3, only Google Meet is designed for meetings with large numbers of participants. Google Hangouts caps the number of meeting participants at 10 for personal accounts and 25 for business accounts. Google Duo, meanwhile, is designed for one-on-one video chatting, similar to Apple FaceTime. So overall, Google Meet is the one you want for business meetings. And before you get started with any video conference application, it's also worth keeping in mind that the issue of background noise and noise cancellation is handled very differently depending on the software and device that you're using. If you plan to be doing a lot of video conferencing, you may want to consider purchasing a pair of headphones that also has a microphone attachment, as that could help minimize the background noise that could be coming from your device. So if you are about to use Google Meet, chances are you fall into one of 2 categories. You are either looking to join a meeting that someone else has initiated, or you are looking to create a meeting with yourself as the host. For those who are simply looking to join a meeting, you will want to focus your attention to the middle of the Google home screen where it says Join. For those looking to create a meeting, however, you will be using either the Start a Meeting function to the left or the Schedule a Meeting function to the right. Let's take a look at all of these real quick, starting over on the left. Start a Meeting will take us live into a meeting that we have created that we are hosting. To the right of that, Enter Meeting Code is where you can join a meeting. You will then need to enter the meeting code that you likely received in an email invitation. There's also a very quick and convenient second way to join a meeting in Google Meet that is not on this home screen. The second way to join a meeting is that you can simply copy and paste the web URL that was provided in your invitation. The nice thing about Google Meet is that the meeting ID code that people need to join the meeting is also part of the web address. So a typical Google Meet meeting will be hosted at meet.google.com / and then a string of characters. That string of characters is the meeting identification code. And the third home screen option over to the right is Schedule a Meeting from Google Calendar. Another item worth noting is that these options available from the Google Meet home screen have now been added to Gmail. Sign into your Gmail account, and you will see over on the left side that Google now gives you the option to start a meeting or join a meeting. Those Gmail buttons activate the exact same actions that they would from the Google Meet home screen. For our purposes, we are going to head back to the Google Meet home screen and first explore the option of scheduling a meeting. So from the home screen, we choose Schedule a Video Meeting. As you can see, this screen is simply a duplicate of the standard Google Calendar screen. At the top, you can add the meeting title. Below that, choose the date and time. As well, Google provides some very common sense options if the meeting will be repeating daily, weekly, monthly, annually, and of course a custom option. Below that is the option to select or deselect joining with Google Meet. To the right of that, if you were to hover over the 2 boxes icon, that will give you the option to copy the meeting link right from this window. The meeting link information is what you will need to send out to your guests. And next to that, if I were to select X, you can see that this Google Calendar event would simply turn off the Google Meet option. We do not want to do that. Below that, you can then add a location, a notification for yourself, and a color code. The busy option. This means that if you schedule or accept this meeting, then others who can regularly view your Google Calendar will see that you are busy during this time period. Under the Visibility tab, public means that anyone your calendar is shared to can see your event, and private means that only meeting attendees may see your event. Below that, you can enter a description. Top right is where you can add guests from your Google contacts, and Google will automatically email out an invite. And finally, guest permissions, self-explanatory. You can allow guests to modify the event, invite others, and see a guest list. And once you schedule the meeting, you can see that it now shows up in your Google Calendar. When it is time to enter the Google Meet session, simply click on the event in your Google Calendar and select the icon in blue, Join with Google Meet. As well, any scheduled meeting will also show up on your Google Meet home screen when you are signed into your Google account. Okay, so now we know how to schedule a meeting. Let's take a look at the other 2 options here on the home screen. We have Start a Meeting and Enter Meeting Code. Whether you choose to start a meeting or enter a meeting code to join a meeting, the subsequent screen you will be taken to is the same. The only difference being if you were to join a meeting by entering a meeting code, then that means that you are likely a guest invited to someone else's meeting. So let's choose that option for now. Let's enter a meeting as a guest by joining a meeting. So we type in our meeting code and then we click join. You will then be taken to a preview window. In the preview window at the top left is where you will allow Google Meet to access your microphone and your camera by clicking allow. You'll be given a video preview of yourself and then simply select the green button which says join now. As you move to the next window, it asks you once more if you will allow Google Meet to access your camera. If you would like your face to be shown during the meeting, click allow. This is sort of one last chance for you to not show your camera if you would not like to be seen during the meeting. So now we're in the Google Meet interface. For our purposes, we are going to select Leave Call and head back to the home screen so that we can compare the Join Meeting option with the Start Meeting option from the home screen. So let's select Leave Call. So from the home screen, as opposed to typing in a meeting code as a guest and clicking Join, instead we select Start a Meeting. As we'll then see, starting a meeting takes us to the exact same screen that joining a meeting took us to. This preview window is the same whether we are a guest or a host. But once you move past the preview screen and into the main meeting screen as a host, we will see that an extra pop-up window is presented to us. That pop-up window has the meeting code information that we will need to send out to potential guests. So we can either select copy joining info and send out invitations via email, or we can select add people and Google will email out the invitations automatically for our Google contacts. Okay, so now we were in the main Google Meet interface, so let's take a look around. Bottom left corner is meeting details. This is where you can at any time copy the joining info that any guests will need to join your meeting. So you can copy that info and email that information out. Bottom center, there are three icons, pretty self-explanatory. Microphone is where you can toggle your microphone on and off. The telephone receiver icon is where you can leave the meeting. And the camera icon, you can toggle your camera on and off. To the right of that is the option to turn on captions. Google will do its best to transcribe the live audio into text. Let's test it out real quick so you can see how accurate the captions are. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. To the right of captions is the Present Now option. Let's click Present Now to see the next steps. So you can choose entire screen or window. After selecting your preferred option, a second window pops up asking you to designate one more time which window you would like to share. The drop-down window allows you to select entire screen or to select any other application or folder window that you have open. Once you decide, finally click Allow. After clicking Allow, your entire screen is now presenting to the group, and when you're finished sharing, simply click Stop Presenting. Okay, bottom right next to Present Now are the three vertical dots, which gives us the options window. The 7 options it gives us, first one, change layout, second one, full screen, third, captions, fourth, settings, and then 3 help windows at the bottom. Let's check these out one by one. Okay, first one, change layout. Change layout simply gives you options for how to view the meeting participants, specifically whether you prefer to see all participants at once or to view the person who is speaking in a spotlight type scenario. Full screen is pretty self-explanatory. You can select escape to exit the full screen mode. Captions we already know, so let's go down to settings. Settings is essentially where you can select and troubleshoot your audio and video options. Under video, you can choose a resolution based on your internet connection. And under general is the very exciting option to report additional diagnostics to help improve this product. Hey, why not? And once we're done with options, let's head to the top right corner. The icon that looks like 2 people, that is the list of participants. Clicking on the people icon will allow us to add people to the meeting, and Google will automatically send an invite to anyone we select from our contacts list. And to the right of the people icon is the chat icon. You can send any text messages to the group. If you'd like to leave the chat window, simply click in the empty space to the left of that window. So that's the overall interface for Google Meet. Very, very simple. When the meeting is complete, you select Leave Call, which takes you to this next window stating you left the meeting, and then it gives you the option rejoin or return to home screen. If you choose rejoin, you will rejoin that specific meeting. So worth keeping in mind, another feature of Google Meet is that the link to the meeting does not expire. So you can reuse that meeting link at a later time. You do not necessarily need to schedule a new meeting. And finally, some troubleshooting. If you are having issues getting your microphone or video camera being able to connect to Google Meet, it may be worth using Google's web browser, Google Chrome, in tandem with Google Meet. And if you're having the issue where your video conference meeting app is choppy and often stalls, the first thing you'll want to do is open an internet browser and try to load a simple web page to check your internet connection. You always want to make sure that the internet and Wi-Fi is working on your end before troubleshooting the video conference application. And that completes the quick start guide for Google Meet. Good luck.